Alright, what's we're on Ranking Finder here, and today we will be ranking each and every one of the bosses in Killing Floor 2. Now this list will be for a 6-player Hell Nerd game, because that's how everything should be ranked, from bosses to perks to loadouts. To help everything. So how will this video work? I will be starting with the weakest boss in the game and working my way up to the hardest one. There are currently 5 bosses in the game: Hans, Patriarch, King Fleshbound, Abomination, and the Matriarch, the newest one. I will be explaining why the boss is weak or hard from my gameplay experience, and just so you won't say, "Oh, Finder, you making this stuff up," I will put some gameplay footage in the background of the boss I'm gonna be talking about. I did try my best to record each boss on multiplayer, but it takes forever to get them. And you know, playing so many different matches, yep, I just can't be bothered. But yeah, as always, this video was brought to you by the Patreon, and I do want to give a massive shout out to Jan Lul, Matt Hammer for both pledging $5 over on the Patreon. So hey, Jan Lul and Matt Hammer, thanks for that freaking support, and for that you get a Strasser thumbs up and a Strasser with a balloon. And on top of that, I do want to give a massive shout out to Darcian for pledging $10 over on the Patreon. So yeah, Darcian, really appreciate that massive freaking support, and for that you get a Strasser thumbs up, Strasser with a balloon, and a Strasser with a beer. Thanks for that massive freaking support. So yeah, thanks to each and every one of you over on the Patreon, because without you guys, yep, I wouldn't be as consistent as I am today. So thank you. And now let's continue with the video. Okay, you all probably expected which boss is the weakest, and here we have the Abomination. Okay, I did make a ranking video like this a year ago, and for the most part, it's still a relevant video. So yeah, why is the Abomination the weakest boss in the game? To put it simply, yep, he is a slow boss. His attacks can be dodged really easily, just by moving backwards. And on top of that, when he does damage you, yep, the damage is not that significant. The Abomination does become harder as time goes on because of Abomination spawns that can become extremely annoying. But let's be real here, he doesn't last long. If that wasn't enough, recent changes to him made it so he gets knocked down each time you destroy an armor piece. So he'll get knocked down for a total of 3 times. When he's knocked down, he does take quite a while to get back up, making him extremely mediocre and, in my opinion, a laughable boss. With that said, which perks should you pick for this boss? I would recommend the Gunslinger, Berserker, Demolitionist, Sharpshooter, Medic, and Survivalist. But I mean, these 6 perks, yep, they work on pretty much every single boss. Now, for the 2 of you who are struggling with this boss, what should you do against him? Keep him at a distance, don't let him get too close. If you're playing a perk that can freeze or stun the boss, do that as frequently as you can. Shoot him in the head, that's his main weak spot. But if you for some unknown reason can't hit his head, the body will do. I do recommend destroying his head armor piece as fast as possible, and just keep on headshotting him till he dies. Now you also might notice little green blobs coming at you, and what do? You shoot them. Don't let them get too close. Always keep your distance. If you're playing the Demolitionist, you will be passively killing them when you shoot at the boss anyway. So yeah, my conclusion on this boss is that yep, he needs an overhaul, or maybe just, I know, more resistances to certain types of weapons, because he is not a challenge at all, no matter what you say. I heard a lot of people saying that he is a quote-unquote bullet sponge, which in turn makes him an annoying boss. But I mean, to that, I just say stop playing the SWAT and the command, because if you play those 2 perks, yep, you're just gonna be shooting, and yep, his health bar is gonna stay the same. So yeah, that was it for the weakest boss in Killing Floor 2, and now let's move on to the second weakest. And that, of course, is going to be the King Fleshbound. Oh boy, where do I start with this one? I guess, first off, if you know how Fleshbound in this game works, yep, you pretty much already know how to counter him 80%. The other 20% is you learning how to dodge his laser beam attack and his ground pound. Like I said, the King Fleshbound is just a Fleshbound with a lot more health. The mistake I see a lot of people doing, and those people are also the ones calling this boss hard, is that they don't kill quarter pounds when they spawn. If you kill the quarter pounds when they spawn, yep, the boss battle just becomes a walk in the park. Because realistically, the only thing that can kill you on this boss wave is you getting surrounded by ya boy quarter pounds. So yeah, make sure you kill the quarter pounds as fast as possible and then focus on the boss. When there is no quarter pounds on the map, you focus on the boss, but when there are quarter pounds on the map, you focus on the quarter pounds. When you kill him, you focus back on the boss. Simple as that. Anyways, the King Fleshbound does have a couple of phases, and you'll know when he's going into a phase because of quarter pounds spawning. As mentioned before, the boss does at least have some unique abilities. A chest, laser, and ground pound. The laser can be avoided by crouching, but keep in mind you do have to be on the same level as him. If you're a bit above him and crouch, you'll still get hit. Usually that happens on stairs. The ground pound can be avoided just by keeping distance. Also, you can kind of guess when he's gonna go into rage mode, so you can preemptively get some distance. So yeah, that's what you have to do against the King Fleshbound. And now for the perks. The perks I would personally use for the King Fleshbound are going to be the Gunslinger, Sharpshooter, Berserker, Demolitionist, Medic, and Survivalist. And like I said with the Abomination, yep, these 6 perks are pretty much for any boss. I mean, some perks you can actually stack, such as like multiple Berserkers or multiple, you know, Gunslingers, Sharpshooters. Just don't stack the Medic perk, because 2 Medics are a bit overkill and, yep, they lack in the whole damage department. So yeah, I do only recommend 1 single Medic. And yep, that was all for the King Fleshbound, and now let's move to the middle of the road. And that's going to be the Patriarch.
I'm back, and I've got some new tricks.
So, Patriarch, he is right in the middle of the list. Why is that? Well, in my honest opinion, when I get him, yep, he 9 out of 10 times can't even go for his first heal. Now, a lot of inexperienced players won't know what his biggest weakness is. As you might know, the Patriarch should heal 3 times, but you can stop him from doing that as shown in the background gameplay. Either by freezing him, blocking him, and shooting the living fork out of him. Now, if you ask an experienced player, or, you know, just a player that plays Hell on Earth a lot, yep, he is gonna tell you that the Patriarch is just a snack, also known as a free win. Now, he can become a bit of a nuisance when he runs off and heals, but like I said, it's a small percentage that he's actually gonna do that. Okay, how do you fight against him if he actually does run off and heals? The Patriarch does have a bunch of attacks ranging between a minigun, rockets, mortar, tentacle, swipe attack, kick attack. So for the minigun, if you're close enough to him, you can actually just go right up against him and face hug him, and he won't be able to hit you. If you're out in the open, yep, you're pretty much dead. But if you're out in the open and have a bunch of obstacles in between, yep, just go and hide behind them. For rockets, don't be close when he does them. Dodge them by strafing left and right, just depends where he's gonna shoot. And for the life of me, don't stand still, because I do see a lot of players just standing still. And for the other attacks, yeah, just try your best to parry or avoid altogether. So yeah, the perks you should be picking are going to be the Gunslinger, Sharpshooter, Medic, Survivalist, Berserker. I mean, not so much Demolitionist, but he can still work. And that's all she wrote for the Patriarch. But yeah, my top recommendation for him is, yep, just get him before he runs off and heals. Simple as that. I mean, you do have to be a bit experienced in the game to know what the hell I'm talking about, and you pretty much block, you know, doors where he's most likely gonna run off to. And if you have stuff like freeze grenades or just, you know, freeze weapons, just freeze them in place. And the other perks, hopefully heavy hitting perks, are going to just kill him. And that's it. GG Patriarch. And now let's move on to the second hardest in the game, and that's going to be Hans.
You come here and make all this noise. How am I meant to work? You must stop living.
But yeah, I was kind of like debating between should I put him as the hardest or should I put the Matriarch as the hardest. But I mean, Hans has been out for a very long time, so you pretty much already know everything he does. Whereas the matriarch is, you know, relatively new and she has those one-shot attacks. But yeah, anyway, Hans, why is this dude the second hardest? Unlike other bosses, he has dodge mechanics, which makes it hard for precision perks to do well, which is good. That's how a boss is supposed to be. The other reason he is the second hardest is because of his Z spawns when he activates his shield. Hans can spawn core pounds as well as Skrakes, and they can become extremely annoying alongside fighting him. So do the same as you did with the King Fleshbound. Kill the Zeds before you kill him, otherwise you're most likely going to get cornered. Hans has 3 shield phases. Each time he gets out of the shield phase, he gets progressively harder. By that I mean he will throw grenades, will get up close and personal more frequently, which in turn you will lose a little bit more health. You can actually destroy his shield before he heals on anyone, and if you can do that with the help of your team, then go for it. But if you see your team being occupied by Zeds and no one else is shooting at them, just don't waste your ammo. Let him heal. Now, the way I see a lot of people dying is because of his grenades. They do have icons on the floor, so keep an eye out and avoid them if you can. I know sometimes it's not possible because you get cornered by Zeds, but if you see a way out of the situation, take it. Hans is also extremely unpredictable with his attacks. Sometimes you will just get comboed by his up-close attacks. Not to mention, he is really fast, so he is going to gain on you with no problems. So how do you counter Hans? Well, keeping distance. Let the Berserker tank him while the other perks shoot at him. When he goes into the shield phase, try your best to destroy the shield. If you can't, focus on the Zeds that are spawning. Because if you don't kill him, you will quickly realize how much of a mistake not killing them was. If you see him coming towards you, you can sometimes survive if you parry his attacks, but Berserkers should be on him at all times, so other perks don't have to take as much hits. So which perks should you pick against Hans? And yep, it's going to be the generic 6+1. So yeah, Gunslinger, Sharpshooter, Demolitionist, Medic, Survivalist and Berserker, and on top of that, Firebug. Yep, Hans doesn't have that much fire resistance, so the Firebug can, you know, work decently well. On top of that, if you pick the Firebug, yep, he's constantly going to be dodging the fire on the floor, but that's going to make it harder for, you know, gunslingers and sharpshooters to shoot him. So I wouldn't recommend him. But if you absolutely have to get some juicy XP, take him. So yeah, Hans, in my opinion, still quite a strong boss. Really hope Tripwire would just look back at him and make other bosses similar. I did hear a lot of people saying that, oh, but Putfundra, I have no problem with him. And then I ask the same person on what difficulty he plays on, and he goes, oh, I play on hard. Yep, and that's why you don't find them, you know, difficult, my dude. On top of that, the Hans boss battle doesn't last for, you know, just 5 seconds. It usually lasts a couple of minutes at least, which is good, because with, you know, the Abomination, King Fleshbound, Patriarch, yep, all of those bosses just last a minute tops. So yeah, now let's move on to the hardest boss in the game, according to a lot of other people, and yep, that's going to be the Matriarch.
Let's all participate in a little experiment.
Okay, before I talk about the boss, I did have some mouse issues when I was playing this match, so excuse that. So, Matriarch. What makes this boss hard? Well, first of all, she has a cannon that does a lot of damage, especially her lightning attack. The lightning attack can also chain from player to player, so even if 5 out of 6 people know how to dodge her, and if she hits that one player that doesn't know how to dodge, everyone shares some damage. And that can be quite frustrating in public matches. All Matriarch attacks can be dodged easily, just always have something to hide behind. When you hear her doing an attack, scoot behind either a pillar, a wall, a car, or just anything that you lose line of sight on her. Never, and I repeat, never stay out in the open, because you die. She is quite a slow boss, so you do have time to change positions. She also has a couple of phases, and in my opinion, she does become way easier when her cannon gets destroyed, because she can't one-shot you anymore. I do recommend destroying her cannon first, but that thing can be quite awkward to hit, so in most cases, you will just destroy her shield and head the armor piece. When she does go into different phases, she will spawn E-Dars, and if it weren't for the amount of E-Dars, yep, she would be be the second hardest boss. But because of Vidars, yep, she does deserve the title of being the hardest boss in Killing Floor 2. This is the type of boss that punishes aggressive players, all because of her one-shot and two-shot attacks. And I'm sadly an aggressive player and find myself usually dying to her, I don't know, lightning attack, sonic attack, and on top of that I also sometimes get trapped and ruined by Idars. But if you're a patient player and you look at what she's doing, yep, she's quite easy to beat. So yeah, you might be asking, what perk should I pick against the matriarch? And yep, you guessed it, gunslinger, sharpshooter, medic, survivalist, demolitionist, and berserker. If you see Idars, it's best if you kill them before they become too annoying. The matriarch without the cannon is very predictable, so you can easily avoid her. I'm not going to be too specific here because this video is just a ranking video. If you want me to talk about statistics and me going more in depth with each boss, do let me know. But for now, this is pretty much it. Do you agree with this list? If you do, that's great. But if you have a different list, don't just dislike the video and say I'm a poo-poo head. Explain why in the comments on why would you put any boss in a different spot. Anyways, boys, this was pretty much it. Hope you guys enjoyed, and yep, like I said, do let me know what you guys think in the comments. And hopefully you guys are going to be ready for some Doom freaking Eternal. So yeah, leave a like, subscribe, and see you guys next episode. Adios.